blocks, not all necessarily stuff blocks, but we saw some long rallies where their hands are controlling the ball. They're able to get more swings in transition, so they are being more aggressive with their blocking.
Glass looks to Blair Brown.
There's another aggressive play where they keep it alive.
Free ball. Hodge, nope. Kehoe was there. Barboza out of the back.
That's when Barboza's her best.
Waller missed it. Point Penn State.
That was Barboza's best hit of the match. Even though it came up, wow, was she aggressive from like 12 feet off the net. Stanford doing a much better job of putting pressure on Penn State this game.
All tied up at 8 here in game 3. Kehoe, look at her check the defense and then feed Waller, and she gets the kill. That quick snap of the neck to look over on the other side of the net from Bryn Kehoe.
That's what every good setter does. She wants to see where the 3 blockers are aligned, because sometimes they'll switch positions, and she's trying to go for the best matchup, the best mismatch.
Brown, solo block was up but missed it wide. Point Stanford to go up by a couple.
Well, whatever Coach Dunning said in the locker room, it seemed to work. He wanted more aggressiveness out of his team. He's getting it here in game 3.
And the rest of the players, Karch, are helping to pick up the slack. We talked about it was +7 in favor of Penn State with Akinradawo out of the game through those first 2 games. Here in game 4, it is in game 3 rather, it's +4 for Stanford with Faluka out. And she's back in there, and Barboza's feeling it now.
Boy, if she gets hot, it is going to be a long night, and that's what Stanford wants, is a long night after falling down 0-2. But that great snap, high, hard, over the block, into the deep corner, is going to be a very effective shot for her, even against a great blocker like Hermato.
9th kill for Barboza, hitting close to 400 now in the match. Hodge with the tip, pancaked up by Lickman. And the official's flag went up in the back.
I thought she got that. That was a great move, and she got up so quickly to get the 3rd ball over.
The official said nope, she did not get her hand underneath it.
Let's see here. Oh, the crowd saw it on the overhead shot, and it looked like she got it.
Barboza. Make sure there's no doubt about that one.
Well, Coach Dunning talked about it. His team a little bit tentative there with Barboza's 10th kill. In some of the other rounds, it's almost like they felt they were putting a little pressure on themselves just to get back to the final, and he was hoping and expecting that they'd be nice and loose for this final. Barboza playing like it right now, and Akinradawo coming up with a big block.
Karch, what's the biggest problem for a team that's up 2-0 coming out for game 3, knowing that they're so close to the championship?
Well, they're thinking, hey, we're hitting 400, we can taste it.
Yep.
Sometimes going to forget how to take care of business and take risky swings, hitting at Akinradawo instead of Kehoe when you have a much taller blocker in the middle. So not only does a setter have to look across the net and see who is positioned where on the block, but the hitter's got to be aware of that too.
Stanford by a couple as we approach the midway point in game 3, which is must win for the Cardinal. Akinradawo with another kill.
And you can also see Penn State's not coming up with nearly as many defensive plays because the Stanford Cardinal, they're swinging harder. There's less time to react for those Penn State defenders, that second line of defense in the backcourt.
Hodge with the pass to Glass, back to Megan. Lickman able to keep it alive. Stanford now on the defensive. Glass right at Lickman, pulls up another one. And then the miscue.
I think Akinradawo was thinking, and that's where it hurts not to have your libero on the court, but Akinradawo was thinking, okay, Barboza's probably going to take this. I don't play that much backcourt here anyway, but Lickman, really good volleyball IQ. She was all over that shot, came up with it, but Stanford can't take advantage.
She's been playing some good defense, and now Akinradawo goes out of the match for Stanford. Kehoe, Barboza out of the back, did not get the touch.
But even though she missed that by a foot, I think she's much better when she's being really aggressive. Forget the tipping and all that. And most of this game has been thoroughly just whacking the ball there. That's good for them.
Penn State's block slowed that down. Fawcett dug up by Barboza. Back to Alex. Rolls it over the top of the block. Stanford with the lead midway through game 3, trying to extend this championship match. The Tao Auto Museum here in Sacramento. Some of the old-time vehicles. And we're getting a look at the future of women's college volleyball and beyond, internationally as well. Some tremendous young talent with us on the court tonight inside Arco Arena. The NCAA Volleyball National Championship match. Penn State and Stanford, each side with 3 first-team All-Americans out on the floor right now. Beth Mowens, Karch Karai, and Kathy Nelson with you. Penn State taking games 1 and 2. And Stanford now in a must-win 3 straight to take home the title. Lyman. Now Brown against a couple of blockers, and that never made it across. Both of these clubs have been in every NCAA tournament. Stanford with 6 national championships. Penn State's 1 title came in 1999 over Stanford in a 3-0 sweep. And Kehoe with the ace. And Karch, all the emotion is on the Stanford side of the net right now.
It really is, with the ace there by Kehoe. Penn State's hitting percentage has dropped dramatically to 167 this 3rd game. It's because the Stanford Cardinal are serving tougher, getting aces like that, blocking better, and digging better.
And Kathy, what did you just hear in the Penn State huddle?
Well, Russ Rose, as he's known to do, got on his players pretty hard about the fact that they just weren't playing well. And he said, you know, guys, we're playing terrible. We're only 2 points down. Of course, that's grown now to 5 points down. Probably going to be a little bit animated again during this timeout.
Stanford out in front here in game 3, back after this.
When I think of Stanford volleyball, I think of tradition. All of the great players that came before me and helped build this program. Success. When I think of Stanford volleyball, I think of great teamwork. When I think of Stanford volleyball, I think of winning a national championship.
Inside Arco Arena in Sacramento, the NCAA Volleyball Championship presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Penn State winning the first couple of games. And Bryn Kehoe with her 3rd ace in this game.
In a row. Going right at Holhouse, who has not shown any signs of weakness till now.
Penn State 1 game away from the championship. Stanford trying to force at least a game 4 here, and Fawcett long.
Boy, everything going right for Stanford there. Waller all over that ball, should not have put it back over the net. Fawcett with a free swing, open net, and hits it out.
8 swings in this game for Fawcett without a kill, after coming up with 11 tallies in the first 2 games. And finally, Megan Hodge, and look at the emotion from the soft-spoken Hodge right there.
Trying to light a fire there after dominating Stanford those first 2 games, down by 6 here.
Kehoe to Waller, off the antenna, point Penn State.
Last year in this title match, Waller had a tremendous match kill leader for Stanford. She's been very good for them throughout the NCAA tournament. A little bit of a slow start for her tonight.
Fawcett, another tough serve. Gives Penn State the opportunity. Hodge answering her own call with a big swing there.
Boy, she got a slow start, but is she hot right now? The kill from the backcourt, now the kill from the front court. Right over both Stanford blockers. And in fact, Waller comes out with the substitution, and Alex Fisher comes in the game, trying to make a change.
The tip by Francie Girard. The rest of the Stanford players have really picked up the slack well here in game 3, with Faluka out of the match, which she is right now.
Playing better defense, more aggressive on the blocking, smarter blocking, get more blockers in front of every Penn State hitter.
Service error from Kleinman. Roberta Holhouse, the junior, homeschooled in Maryland. And Gerard again.
And you can see a lot of fire from Kehoe, too. She will do that sometimes, screaming and getting her teammates going. 5th kill for Gerard there. Kehoe this is one of the teams with the best distribution in offense in the whole country. But nothing they can do to stop that Hodge hit.
Boy, she is feeling it right now. 14 kills for Megan Hodge. The sophomore, 2-time All-American from Durham, North Carolina, last year's National Freshman of the Year. Feluca back into the game. She'll get a touch. Climbing with the pass to Kehoe. Right back to Akinradawo. Great get by Dorico. Free ball, Stanford. Now it's Barbosa's turn. All the way cross court. Hodge tries to tip. Not far enough.
Well, you see how well Hodge has been hitting, but those last 2 swings, she didn't get herself, work hard enough to get herself in position to make a good swing. Hits a soft one, Stanford's all over that. Hits a tip into the net, Stanford would have gotten that up even if it crosses.
Lichtman serving. They continue to go after Holhouse. There she is with the right footwork in the right location.
And when it's a scramble play, that's probably one of her weaknesses. One of her few weaknesses is that she has to work harder to get herself in that same kind of position in transition plays.
Kehoe looks to Feluca, try to tip it around the block. What a job by Akinradawo to find where the arms were and avoid them.
When there's a 2-person block against her, she'll recognize that. Coach Dunning says she sees the block better than anybody else I've ever seen, or else she's the luckiest person I've ever seen, because she reacts and sees those open spots better than any hitter in the country. That's why she is the most effective and most efficient hitter in the country, but Harmato right behind.
And that is Fawcett's first kill of this game, now a dozen in the match. Hodge leads everybody with 15. 3 Cardinal players in double figures, led by Kleinman and Akinradawo. Kara Callahan on to serve. Her second appearance of the night. Fawcett, no. Sent back by Akinradawo and Kehoe.
Well, Fawcett has a choice there. I can hit, but I have to recognize that Akinradawo is up on me, or I can just stay down, pass it to my setter. We run a whole new offense. We have Ariel Wilson right there. She's been really effective. She made the wrong choice on that one. It's tough when she had no approach. She's jumping without any run up to the net.
Fawcett, no. Barbosa let that one by. And the Cardinal closing in on game 3. And a timeout called by Penn State. Celebrate the holiday season with some college basketball coming up on ESPN Sunday night as Tyler Hansbrough and the top-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels face the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. College basketball, part of Holiday Hoops, presented by Kay Jewelers on ESPN Sunday night at 8 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And Hansbrough amongst the leading candidates for National Player of the Year, putting up some impressive numbers so far on the season at 21 points per game. As Carolina remains unbeaten and atop the national polls.
And Akinradawo has almost as good a percentage as he does. But she usually has 2 or 3 blockers right in front of her, not just one defender.
And they're allowed to get up over the rim in volleyball as opposed to basketball. Stanford facing a must-win situation now the rest of the night after dropping games 1 and 2.
And remember, they got all the way to this point last year. That's been a big motivation for them all throughout this season. We want to get back to the final, but we don't want to just get back there. We want to win this time after losing. They even won the first game and lost the next 3 to Nebraska in 2006.
That's how we figure out what a player is hitting, the math involved behind it. And 500 is extremely good. Half the time she attacks, she gets a kill out of it. And error-free, I believe, to this point for Feluca.
Yeah, because she could have 12 kills and 12 errors, and that doesn't help her team nearly as much as keeping the ball in play on those ones that don't go down for a point for Stanford.
Fawcett, yes. Penn State lurking.
Smarter hit that time by Fawcett to aim. Hitters always want to aim in the court, and that one before, she just hit so hard with so little spin it flew out of bounds.
Kehoe looks to Alex Kleinman, who crushes it.
Boy, this is a fun display to watch. It's just one power play after another from all of these players who we may see in the 2012 Olympics, some of whom may even be in Beijing. But what a display of this future Olympic talent here.
Being enjoyed by a tremendous crowd here at Arco Arena in Sacramento. There were 3 California teams here. And Penn State, the party crashers. And another ace by Kehoe. That's her 4th of this game.
She is getting a lot of movement on that ball, and there looks like there's a bigger space there between Holthouse and Hodge, and some trouble in terms of communication between those two.
Kehoe down to pick it up. Now Barboza out of the back. The bump to Hodge. Long, and it's game point for Stanford.
Hodge is best off when she's aggressive. She wasn't that time. It goes out of bounds.
Fawcett got it. Ends another good serving run from Bryn Kehoe. And they've still got a handful of game points to try and fend off here, or we are headed to game 4. Kleinman can't end it there. Hodge. Penn State stays in it. 16 kills now for Megan. And that'll do it. Life for Stanford. They stay alive to force game 4 to decide the national championship. Back to Sacramento with more volleyball right after this. The Women's Volleyball National Championship just got a little tighter. Penn State taking games 1 and 2, but Stanford rallying to win game 3, and we are at 2-1 in our best of 5 national championship match. And an interesting turnaround in that game 3. Stanford behind a tremendous service game from Bryn Kehoe and some good defense on Nicole Fawcett. And they were able to keep Penn State quiet, and the senior taking charge.
She really did, and she was going at the libero for Penn State. Holthouse, who was just not able to control 4 reception errors that 3rd game. Penn State has to take care of the ball better if it wants to get that momentum back. You could feel it suck away from them and go right over to the Stanford side.
And here is a look at Kehoe in succession. She had 3 of them in a row, and then came up to serve again late in that game to pick up another one.